Okay, as you can find in number 5, he said quotation. So this literally what you want to illustrate the claim. Again, here quotation. Here literally because of the quotation. What he wants to illustrate the claim. Do we have claim up? No, we can't find claim. In the first sentence introduction, yes. So forget about it and take from the second till the end. We need something look exactly like this one. He said limits primary impression of the party of four is that they are noisy and distracting. That they are noisy and distracting. So the women had shingled hair and short tight skirts, which exposed the underside of their knees when they sat down. I can say that this is distracting, but not noisy. Let's look at B. One of the women had the face of a young boy, but disguised by one trick or another: rouge, lipstick, powder, wig bangs plastered against the high forehead, and a pair of long pendant earrings to look like a woman of 35, which as a matter of fact she was. Again, it looks that it's distracting but not noisy. But it was the women's voices, noisy. The terrible, not quite sober pitch of the women's voices which caused Lemmy to skim over two whole pages without knowing what was on them. Yes, here we have two parts that they are distracting and noisy. Lemmy closed the book and said, I didn't think you were coming. So the answer is gonna be C. Number 6. Again, what he wants, we have quotation, so it's literary evidence. He wants to illustrate what they claim. So forget about the first sentence if it's an introduction because we can find claim. Yes, so take from the second sentence till the end. It said Mr. Peters wants to attract attention. Mr. Peters wants to attract attention. Let's look at A. Apparently, he himself was not aware that there had been any change. Nothing here showed that he wants to attract attention. He straightened his tie. He straightened his tie self-consciously. And when Irma handed him a menu, he gestured with it so that the two women at the next table would notice the diamond ring on the fourth finger of his right hand. So he wants to attract the attention of the women. So it can be. The young man had never for 1 second deserted Mr. Peter. Nothing here said that he wants to attract attention. He was always there, tugging at Mr. Peter's elbow, making him do things that were not becoming in a man of 45. Again, is not something talk about attract attention. Number 7. Again, he said quotation. What you want to illustrate. Illustrate what they claim. Forget about the first sentence and take from the second sentence till the end. He said one consequence of Silas adopting Ibby that he looks forward to a different kind of future. One consequence of Silas adopting Ibby is that he looks forward to a different kind of future. Take care of that one. Okay, let's find. The gold had kept its thought in an ever-repeated circle, leading to nothing beyond itself. He doesn't talk about a different kind of future. He talk about the past. But Ibby, was an object of compacted of changes and hopes that forced its thoughts onward and carried them far away from their old eager pacing toward the same blank limit. Carried them away to a new things, future, to new things that would come with the coming years. Yes, future. And here talk about adopting her that let him talk about the future, looking at the future. Can be B. C. Then she would turn her ear to some sudden bird notice. No. And Silas learned to please her by making signs of hushed stillness. Nothing here talk about different kind of future. Shapes and sounds grew clearer for Epi's eyes and ears, and there was more that Dad was imperatively required to notice and account for. Again, here nothing talk about different kind of future, so the answer is B. Let's look at number 8. Again, quotation. What he wants to illustrate. Illustrate what? The claim. Can we find the word claim here? No. So forget about the introduction if it's an introduction, yes? And take from what come after. He said the narrator draws a connection between Ipis expanding awareness and Silas increasing engagement with life. So I need now a connection. I need now a connection between Ipis expanding awareness and Silas increasing engagement with life. Let's find A. He said, unlike the gold which needed nothing and must be worshipped in close locked solitude, which was hidden away from the daylight, was deaf to the song of birds, and started to know human tones. Ibi was a creature of endless claims and ever-growing desires, seeking a loving sunshine, and living sounds and living movements, making trial of everything, with trust in new joy and stirring the human kindness in all eyes that looked on her. Here it shows a contradiction, not a connection. So no. And when the sunshine grew strong and lasting, so that the buttercups were thick in the meadow, Silas might be seen in the sunny midday, or in the late afternoon when the shadows were lengthening under the hedgerows, strolling out with uncovered head to carry Eppie beyond the stone pits to where the flowers grew, till they reached some favorite bank where he could sit down, while Ippy toddled to pluck the flowers and make remarks to the winged things that murmured happily above the bright petals, calling Dad's attention continually by bringing him the flowers. I think now he is engaged in life, Silas, and she is expanding her awareness. But is there a connection? I'm gonna say that maybe. Let's look at C. Sitting on the banks in this way, Cyrus began to look for the once familiar herbs again. He doesn't mention anything about Epi. As connection at the child with the child Epi. Mind was growing into knowledge, his mind was growing into memory. As her life unfolded, his soul long stupefied in a cold narrow prison was unfolding too, and trembling gradually into full consciousness. Wait, did the answer for what we said? That as, or the connection between Ibn's expanding awareness and Silas' increasing engagement. As her mind grow, his mind grow. As her life unfolded, his life unfolded. So it's better than B. So the answer is D. The last one, again, we have quotation. Literary, what you want to illustrate. Illustrate what? The claim. Do we have claim here? No. So, do we have the first sentence introduction? Yes. So forget about it and read from the second till the end. He said in the novel, Austen describes Marianne Watts' ability to persuade others of the rightness of her artistic judgments, as is evident when Marianne visits with John Wallaby, a potential suitor. Take care. We need to find something that show her persuasion technique when she was with Wallaby or with John. Let's find. Above all, when she heard him declare, so she for her, him for him, here for John, and she for Marianne, that of music and dancing he was passionately fond. She gave him such a lack of approbation as secured a large share of his discourse to herself for the rest of his stay. But she doesn't talk, or he doesn't talk about persuasion technique. She doesn't agree only what he said. Their taste was, he said there, so we have more than one. Their tastes were strongly alike. The same books, the same passages were idolized by each. Or if any difference appeared, any objection arose, it lasted no longer than till the force of her argument. So she persuaded him. And the brightness of her eyes could be displayed. Yes, here it talk about how she convinced him, how she persuaded him. It was all necessary to mention any favorite amusement to engage her to talk. Yeah, because she is talkative. She could not be silent when such points were introduced, and she had neither shyness nor reserve in their discussion. He talk about her talking, but he doesn't talk about her persuasion technique. They speedily discovered that their enjoyment of dancing and music was mutual, and that it arose from a general conformity of judgment in all that related to either. Encouraged by this to a further examination of his opinion, she proceeded to question him on the subject of books. He doesn't talk about how she persuaded him. So, these are, as we mentioned, the 9 questions, or from 5 to 9, that you have homework on. I'm going to ask your favor right now to go to my website, please, Dr. Tamer English SAT, just to start the quiz. Okay, you're going to enter to DSAT Basics. And we are in domain one, information and ideas. And you're gonna go to the literary. Uh, ah, it's not only literary, it's scientific and literary because we didn't take a quiz for scientific, if true. So scientific and literary. Press it please and start doing the test. So the first question, he said if true, and here scientific, because we know if true is an indicator that this scientific. What you want? Support. Support what? The underlying claim. So what we're gonna read the underlying claim. You're gonna read more only if it has words that they are unknown. Let's read together. He said hip
Mister,
hop. I'm sorry.
your screen is not showing, it's showing the mics.
I'm sorry. Okay, now share.
Yes,
Hello.
it's showing now.
Okay. So again, he said F true scientific. What you want to support. Support what? The claim. The underlying claim. The underlying claim is here. As I told you, the underlying claim is going to be the only thing that you're going to read to support it. When I'm going to read more, if we have unknown words or unknown terminology. Here he said hip hop pedagogy. Encourage student success by raising students' interest and engagement. So what I want to support the hip hop. Well, encourage student success by two things. By raising student interest and engagement. Let's find A. Courses that incorporate hip hop and rap music are among the courses with the highest enrollment and attendance rate. Wait, he talked about hip hop, but also rap music, and I didn't mention any rap music. No problem, but he talked about hip hop, and he said that it's the highest enrollment, engagement and attendance, interest. It can be. Let's look at B. Educators report that they enjoy teaching courses that involve hip hop and rap music more than teaching courses that don't. Wait, I never talked here about the educators. I'm talking about the learners, the students. So forget about that. Students tend to be more enthusiastic about rap music than they are about hip hop music. Wait, I need the opposite. I need about hip hop, not about rap. So the answer is wrong. Awesome. Students who are highly interested in social justice issue typically don't sign up. Don't sign up. Take care of these words. Don't sign up. Don't sign up for courses that incorporate hip hop and rap music. How they don't sign? I need that they sign. I need to support that they sign. So the answer is wrong for letter D. Number two, if true scientific, what he wants to weaken, to be opposite to what was mentioned. Weaken what? The underlying claim. So look at the underline. The notches. What are the notches? I didn't understand. In that case, you're gonna read up, but let's continue. The notches were all made at one time by one individual as a means of counting something. I wanna weaken this. I wanna say that this is wrong. That the notches were all made at one time by one individual as a means of counting something. But the problem that I don't know what does it mean notches, so I'm gonna read up. He said in the 1970, a roughly 60,000-year-old piece of hyena bone marked with nine notches, was discovered at a site in western France. Where? In western France. Once inhabited by Neanderthals. This area was inhabited by Neanderthals. Although many believe that only modern humans developed system for notating numbers, one archaeologist asserts that this artifact may be a sign that Neanderthals also recorded numerical information. The notches on the bone are unevenly spaced. This is the right information. This is the right information. So they are unevenly spaced, but approximately parallel. But they are parallel. And microscopic analysis revealed that they were made with a single stone tool. This is right. They made with a single stone tool. According to the archaeologists that suggest that. Okay, so I know the notches. What are the notches? Like markings. I need to weaken that the notches were all made at one time by one individual. Weaken يعني ايه؟ نقول ما حصلتش. ما حصلتش. Okay. Parallel lines, yes, they are parallel, are a common feature in modern human early system like the Neanderthals for recording numeric information. It's out of topic. It doesn't weaken this one. More than 9 approximately parallel notches. Wait, he said 9. He said 9. Why you said more than 9? Were made with a different stone tool. And here he said with a single stone tool. He didn't say different. Because whatever is not underlined is right. Are present on another artifact at a site in Western France. Yes, this one is right. But the other part that they are more than 9 wrong by another different stone tool wrong. Let's look at C. It would have taken careful effort to make evenly spaced. I'm sorry, he said unevenly. Let's continue. Lines and bone with the stone tool typically used by Neanderthal. And it's out of topic. The last one. Decorative art discovered at another Neanderthal site. So, if it's another, so like that, it's not made at the same time. In Western France, primary feature patterns of unevenly spaced parallel lines. So they found another bone with unevenly spaced parallel lines in another site. So like that, the notches were not all made at one time by one individual because they found it in two different places. Number 3. Again, he said if true, what you want to support Dink's claim. We need to find claim. We need to find the word claim, the verb claim. It's here. So let's take a subject and claim till the end. He said Zane claimed that the concept of word music homogenizes, means that you can put them together, you can unify them. Highly distinct tradition, different tradition, by reducing them all to a single category. I want to support that. That different tradition, you can put them in a single category by finding something similar between them. The problem that I don't know what kind of word music that they're talking about, so I'm gonna read from up. In the 1980s, many musicians and journalists in the English-speaking world began to draw attention to music from around the globe, such as Mabaganga from South Africa and Quan Hu from Vietnam. Two different music here. One from South Africa, the other one from Vietnam. They can't be easily categorized according to British or North American popular music genre, typically referring to such music as word music because they are not the same, they are different. So now how can you put them in a single category? You have to find something similar between them. While some scholars have welcomed this development for bringing diverse musical forms to prominence in countries where they had previously been overlooked, musicologist Suzanne claimed that, okay, so now I need to say that these two kind of music, there is something similar between them, despite that they are from different countries, that we can put them in a single category. He said Mabaganga is significantly more popular in the English-speaking world than Quan Hu is. Okay, here he showed that they are different, not the same. Mabaganga and Quan Hu developed independently. Yes, they are developed in different countries of each other and have little in common musically. Yes, they have something simple, similar between them. So we can't put them in a single category. Can be the answer. Mabaganga and Quan Hu are now performed by a diverse array of musicians with no direct connection to South Africa or Vietnam. How no direct connection? How no direct connection? Said that this from South Africa, the other one from Vietnam. No. Mabaganga and Quan Hu are highly distinct. They are different from British and North American popular music, but similar to each other. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about that they are different from British and North. They are different from each other, but they have something similar. So this is wrong. The only part that is wrong is this one. Number 4, quotation, literary. Literary. What you want to illustrate the researcher claim. Can we find the word claim? Yes, here. Look, the claim is here. This time claim is here. The researcher claims that feeling frightened in controlled situation can boost a person's mood and confidence. This what I want to illustrate or support. But what are the controlled situations? I don't know, so I have to read up. I have to read up to know the controlled situation. He said the researchers conducted an experiment inspired by studies suggesting that people may benefit from feeling frightened in certain circumstances, such as when watching a scary movie, this is a controlled situation, or visiting haunted attraction, بيت الرعب, controlled situation. The researcher recruited several participants and had them walk through a local haunted house attraction. Immediately after exiting the attraction, each participant completed a survey about their experience. Okay, so now I need to support, to illustrate that feeling frightened in controlled situation can boost a person's mood and confidence. A. My friends kept laughing as we were walking through the haunted house. Laughing here, it can be about the mood, not the confidence. About the mood. I can laugh. This is my mood, but not confidence. Okay. The haunted house was scary at first, but I knew everyone was just acting, so I felt less scared after a few minutes. Less scared, it can be confidence, but where's the mood? C. The sense of relief I felt at the end of the haunted house was similar to the feeling I have when I finish a scary movie. Again, he said the relief. It's gonna be mood. Where is the confidence? The last one. After I came out of the haunted house, I felt very accomplished, confidence, and less stressed mood. Let's go to number 5. If true, what he wants to weaken. Weaken what? The potential explanation. Where is the potential explanation is here. So read the whole thing. He said one potential explanation for this result. What the result that they talk about, we don't know. So we have to read up. Is that individual conceive of and allocate funds in physical money. بالله عليكم ركزوا في دي. Conceive and allocate funds. Conceive and allocate funds. They talk about the whole funds. The whole funds. For medical funds, food funds, transportation funds, physical funds, in physical money, differently than they conceive of and allocate funds in electronic form. So now I want to weaken this. But I don't know what this result. So read up. Many governments that regularly transfer money to individuals to provide supplemental incomes for senior citizens, for example, have long done so electronically. But other countries typically have distributed physical money and have only recently developed electronic transfer infrastructure. Researchers studied the introduction of an electronic transfer system in one such location and found that take care, whatever is not highlighted is right. And found that recipients of electronic transfer consumed a different array of food. He talk about food only. Then recipient of physical transfer of the same amount did, and they are taking the same amount of money. So they actually pay differently for food only. Food. According that they took the same amount of money. Here, I want to prove that this is wrong. That they conceive and allocate funds in physical money different from conceive and allocate funds in electronic form. Let's find here in A. Recipient of electronic transfer typically spend their funds at a slower rate than recipient of physical transfer did. Okay, so like that, they're going to be different. And I want to say that this is wrong. If I said this is the answer, so this will support, not weaken. B. Some recipient of physical transfer received small amounts of money. Wait. He said that they received the same amount. They said that they receive the same amount relatively frequently, while others receive large amounts relatively infrequently. No. Recipient of physical transfer tend to purchase food about as frequently as recipient of electronic transfer did. I know that here he talked about that they are similar, different from here. He said different. But the problem here talk about food. And food, he said that they are really different. Different array of food. So this is wrong. Nearly every recipient of electronic transfer withdrew the entire amount in physical money shortly after receiving the transfer. So just imagine that one received his salary as electronic and one received as physical. But the one that received as electronic, he went to the ATM machine and withdrew all the money immediately and make them physically. So like that, we don't have any comparison. We don't have any differences because both of them are gonna just spend money or funds physically. No one has actual electronically. So the answer is D. Number 6. This is a quotation. What you want to illustrate the claim. Can we find claim? No. So in the first part or the first sentence introduction, yes, forget about it. Let's look after. In the poem, a rock is portrayed as intending to confront and restrain the sea. So I need a part that talk about that the rock can calm the sea. The rock can calm the sea down. On the rock, black midnight falls. The terrible breaker rise like walls. With curling lips and gleaming teeth, they plunge and tear at my bones breathe. Here he talk about that the sea actually fighting with the rock. No, the rock coming down the sea. So it's not. B. On the sea the earth a sway. Granite to me is potter's clay. Under the touch of my careless waves, it rises in turrets and sinks in caves. Here you talk about the sea. I need the rock that is talking, not the sea. See, I'm the sea, I hold the land, as one holds an apple in his hand. Hold it fast with sleepless eyes, watching the continents sink and rise. Here again, he talk about the sea, not the rocks. D, I'm the rock, brown smash sea. I'm set to encounter thee, I come here to face you. Anger loud or gentle still, I'm set here to limit thy power and will. I come here to control you. So did the answer. Number 7 and the last question. Quotation. What you want to support. Support what claim? Can you find the word claim? Yes, here. So let's take the subject and the verb till the end. Students claim that to bar blends means integrates. You know the blender when we put juice, banana with milk, and it's gonna be banana shake. So this blend, we put them together, integrates. So student claim that Tobar blends his area of expertise by applying journalism technique to his creation of works of fiction. So let's find. I need something to support. Do we need to read more? No, because I need something that blends journalism with unreal stories, imaginary stories, works of fiction. For one novel, okay, an imagination, account of a real person, global travel. To bar approach is subject like a reporter, journalism. So it's not a real story, imaginary story that talk about a reporter. So now there is blending. Interviewing people the man had met along the way and researching the man's own writing. Yes, there is a blend. B. Tubar got his start as a volunteer for E.T. Cullode, a community newspaper in San Francisco, and wrote for newspaper for years before earning a degree in creative writing and starting to publish works of fiction. No integration here. Something happened first, then something happened second. We didn't put them together, so it's not integration, no blending. C. Many of Tubar's notable non-fiction articles, non-fiction means real, are marked by the writer's use of technique usually associated with fiction, such as complex narrative structure and the corporation of symbolism. Again, here it's not blending. Here he used some strategies from fiction and non-fiction. No blending. D. The protagonist of Tubar's third novel is a man who wants to be a novelist and keeps notes about interesting people he encounters so he can use them when developing character for his stories. Here he talk about writing an imaginary story, a novel, about a novelist. So he doesn't talk about journalist. So the answer is A. I'm gonna send this for you right now.